Let's talk about it, y'all. Let's talk about how to get evidence-based care during your childbirth. I'm Jessica Easter. I am the owner of Abounding Grace Birth Services. I am the sole childbirth educator, placenta encapsulator, and childbirth doula. So there are essentially 6 different things you need to do to make sure that you set yourself up for success for your next labor. The first thing that you need to do is you need to know evidence-based care. Evidence-based care, it has 3 parts. Basically, you want to gather the facts to help you make sound, informed birth decisions. You also want support and advice from a trained healthcare professional, and then also your own values, goals, and preferences. You want to take all that into account, okay? So, no evidence-based care. Number 2, you want to choose the right provider. Y'all, this is so important. I tell my clients, I tell people that reach out to me for an interview that you want to make sure you have the right provider. And when you have a provider, you want to ask open-ended questions. That means questions that they have to answer and they don't require just a yes or no. They have to give you an explanation. Because how else are you going to make an informed choice if you don't really understand what they are offering to you? And then number 3, you want to choose the right birth setting. This is really important. You may have a desire to have a home birth. You may desire to have a hospital birth. You may desire to kind of do something in between and birth in a birth center. You may want to have a home birth, but you may not be a good candidate for a birth center. A home birth. So it's important that you choose the right birth setting that's going to align with your desires and your preferences so you can have the birth that you want. The 4th thing you want to do is gather your team. So this is like everybody on your team, of course, that includes your provider, but this also may include a labor doula, such as myself. This may include specific people in your family or maybe some friends. But however, I do want to say, in my experience as a birth doula, less is more. Typically, when we have fewer people in the labor room, we have a more positive birth experience. If you do choose to have more than just your significant other and your birth doula as part of your team that is actively supporting you, you want to make sure that anyone else that's there is going to be helpful. You want to make sure that they have a part to play and they're not just sitting there like, you know, a fly on the wall waiting for you to have a baby. They're not sitting there complaining and or rushing you or making you feel rushed to give birth. You want to make sure if they're there, they're being supportive. Number 5, you want to educate yourself. This is so important. I feel like the more you know, the more empowered you can feel to make those calm decisions, those decisions that are informed, But if you go in blindly, you don't know what you're going to bump into. You don't know, what a situation may be. It always helps to have someone like a birth doula who can help you navigate through different situations. And I will say, when you are in the process of labor, there are tons of things that you may not remember in the moment. And that's why having a birth doula is important. But however, being knowledgeable before you go into a labor setting really does help. It helps to understand what's going on in my body. Why am I having contractions? What are the contractions for? What are they doing for me? And a lot of times when you have this understanding, it can help you to process your labor experience differently and sometimes have just a better experience. And then number 6, this is really important. Are you ready for it? You want to know your rights. You want to know your rights. This is really important. The most important legal and human right of birthing is the right to informed consent. And a lot of people don't know that. We love OBGYNs. We love midwives. We love the nurses. However, if they're not giving you information, then you cannot make an informed decision. And you should not be giving consent without information, without getting the information on whatever it is you need to give consent for. So this is really, really important to understand. You have the legal and ethical right to make informed decisions, and you have the right to decline. You have the right to decline things. And a lot of mamas don't know that. They think, oh, my doctor recommended, or my doctor said I need to do it, or my doctor said I'm going to do it, or they won't let me. And they just go with it. But you have every right to consent or to decline. All right, so that is it. That is how you get evidence-based care during your childbirth. Make sure you save this video, like, share it. Come back to this page for more information. I'm going to be sharing a lot of evidence-based information. A lot of information is going to help you in your pregnancy and your childbirth. And I'm so excited to join you on this journey.